Listen up, because what's going down in Chicago right now is a ticking time bomb. We've got an all-pro safety who just led the NFL in picks, but is about to turn 33 and wants a fat new contract while literally every safety on our roster is about to hit free agency. But that's not even the craziest part. The ref for tonight's game has the worst track record when it comes to protecting quarterbacks. And the Bears just so happen to lead the league in roughing the passer calls. And on top of all that, we've got a cornerback playing for millions tonight against the Packers. If he balls out, his value skyrockets and we probably can't afford him if he gets torched. Maybe we can bring him back cheap, but do we even want him then? Ryan Poles has some damn near impossible decisions to make. And what happens tonight could shape the next 5 years of this franchise. Don't go anywhere, this is about to get wild. Let me get straight to it, this is huge. Kevin BYARD just got named first-team All-Pro for the third time in his career. First team. One of the best safeties in the entire league. He led the NFL with 7 interceptions this season. 7. And since he entered the league in 2016, no one has more picks than him. 36 total. The guy's a straight-up ballhawk, but here's the part no one's talking about. BYARD's turning 33 by next training camp. And not only that, every single one of our safeties is hitting free agency after this season. Every single one. BYARD, Jaquan Brisker, Jonathan Owens, Elijah Hicks, even C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who's been playing slot but has safety experience. All of them are about to hit the market. So here's the million-dollar question. What the hell does Ryan Poles do? Because look, BYARD just earned All-Pro honors. He led the league in picks. He's not taking a pay cut. No shot. His last deal was 2 years, $15 million, with $8.5 million against the cap this year. Now, after this season, he's gonna want more. Do we have the money? According to overthecap.com, we're $196,000 over the cap for 2026 now. That's not a real problem. We can restructure deals. Push bonuses into 2027 where we've got $53.7 million in space. But the point is, we don't have a lot of wiggle room right now. And it's not just BYARD, it's the whole position. Brisker just played his first full season and he's gonna want to get paid. He's 25. Just proved he can stay healthy for 17 games. Owens has been solid all year. Hicks stepped up when we needed him. Gardner-Johnson's been a beast in the slot. How the hell are we supposed to pay all these guys? I'm telling you right now, this is the toughest decision Ryan Poles is gonna face this offseason. On one hand, BYARD's been amazing. He's a leader. He makes plays. He's got playoff experience. The guy's a total pro. But on the other hand, he's 33. How much longer can he keep this up? 1 more year, 2. Do we really want to throw big money at a guy near the end of his career? Then there's Brisker. He's 25. Just proved he can stay on the field. He's got all the tools. He's physical, smart, can cover. Shouldn't we be prioritizing him over BYARD? But here's the counterpoint, and it's a strong one. BYARD just led the league in picks. Just got named first-team All-Pro. How do you let a guy like that walk? The Eagles did it 2 years ago after trading for him mid-season, and look how that turned out. BYARD's had to monster seasons with us. He's playing like he's 25, not 33. So I ask you, would you let BYARD walk? I think this is one of the toughest calls we'll ever have to make. There's no obvious right answer. If we let him go and he signs somewhere else and keeps balling out for 2 or 3 more years, we're gonna look like fools. The fans won't forgive us. But if we give him a big deal and he gets hurt or falls off a cliff, we'll look just as bad. And here's the other wrinkle that makes this even harder. Darnell Wright just got named second-team All-Pro, our right tackle. The guy's only 23 and just had the best season of his career, and you know what that means when it's time for his extension. It's gonna be massive. All-Pro tackles reset the market. We're talking $20-25 million a year. Easy. So now Poles has to decide, do we pay BYARD? Do we pay Brisker? Do we start saving for Wright? Do we try to pay everyone? And that's not even mentioning Caleb Williams needing a monster extension in 2 years. Rome Odunze's gonna want his bag. Colston Loveland if he keeps playing like Rookie of the Year. I'll say this, these are good problems to have. These are the problems winning teams deal with. But they're real problems that need real solutions, and how Poles handles this will decide whether our window stays open for 5, 6, 7 years or slams shut after 2 or 3. Look at what happened to the Eagles. They let BYARD go and he's been elite for us. They let other guys walk to manage their cap and now they're a mess. We can't make the same mistakes, but we also can't pay everybody. The math just doesn't work. So who stays and who goes? I think BYARD's earned the right to stay if he wants to, but it's got to be the right deal. No 4-year contract. That'd be nuts for a 33-year-old. Keep it short, 2 years max, with most of the money guaranteed in year 1. Something like 2 years, 18 million, 12 guaranteed, gives him security. Gives us flexibility. And Brisker, we have to find a way to keep him. He's young, talented. Just proved he can stay healthy. That's the kind of guy you build your defense around long term. If it comes down to BYARD versus Brisker because of money, I think you go with Brisker. It sucks to say because BYARD's been amazing, but you've got to think long term, right? That's tricky. Yeah, he just made second team All-Pro, but he's a right tackle, not a left. And while he's been great, I'm not sure I want to make him one of the top 5 paid tackles in the league just yet. Maybe we wait another year, see if he can do it again in 2026, then pay him. Or pick up his 5th-year option and negotiate later. So I ask you, if you were Ryan Poles, what would you do? Who do you pay first? I say Brisker first, then BYARD on a short deal, then evaluate right after another season. But that's just me. I know a lot of you are gonna have different takes. If that didn't already have you fired up, this next part should have every Bears fan on edge. Turns out the ref calling our game against the Packers tonight is Adrian Hill, and his crew has a track record that's bad news for us. They're the second most flag-happy crew in the entire league, 17.9 penalties per game. But here's what really gets me heated. The Bears lead the NFL with 9 roughing the passer penalties. This season, 9. That's for more than the next team. And you know how many times Hill's crew called that penalty this year? 3. Just 3 times all season. You think that's a coincidence? I'm telling you right now, when you've got a team that gets flagged for hitting the QB more than anyone, and you get a ref who barely ever calls it, you're in trouble. Think about it. Caleb Williams, our rookie QB, the future of this franchise. The guy we just took #1 overall is going to be out there against a Green Bay defense. That's going to bring the heat. And if Hill's history tells us anything, it's that he's not going to protect him the way he should. That's unacceptable. After everything we've seen this season, Caleb taking unnecessary hits, defenders diving at him after he's released the ball, helmet-to-helmet contact not being called, and now we get a ref who doesn't throw those flags. I'm pissed. Now, yeah, technically both teams are under the same rules, but it's not the same. Why? Because Jordan Love hasn't been taking the kind of hits Caleb has all year. Our O-line has gotten way better, especially with Wright playing like an All-Pro. But there are still times Caleb has to scramble, make plays with his legs, and that's when the dangerous hits come. And here's the craziest part, Hill's crew throws a ton of flags overall. They're strict as hell. But in the one area we need them to be strict, the one area where we've been penalized the most, they're silent. It's like we're going into this game with one hand tied behind our back. I'm telling you, right? Now if we see Caleb take a late hit tonight, if a Packers defender goes high or hits him after the throw and Hill doesn't call it, there's gonna be a problem. This city, these fans, we've waited too damn long for a quarterback like Caleb Williams. Since McMahon, since Cutler, since the Trubisky disaster, we've been waiting for this moment. And we're not gonna let anyone put him at risk. Now I'm not saying we're gonna lose because of the refs. That's a weak excuse, and we don't do that in Chicago. This is a blue-collar city. We don't make excuses. But I am saying this is a factor that no one in the national media is talking about. And it can have a massive impact on how this game plays out, especially if it's close in the 4th quarter. And a no call ends up being the difference between winning and going home. So I ask you, are you ready to watch Caleb out there, knowing he might not get the same protection other QBs get? I think he's ready. I think this kid's shown all year he can handle the pressure, take the hits, keep going. He's got that Chicago mindset, but he shouldn't have to, not in the playoffs, not against the Packers, not at Soldier Field. And if you think I'm overreacting, let me remind you, we've seen it multiple times this season. Late hits on Caleb not called, defenders diving at him after the throw, helmet contact ignored. And now we get the ref with the worst track record on those calls. But maybe this is exactly what we need. Maybe this forces our offense to be smarter, faster, more efficient. Maybe this is when Ben Johnson, our OC, finally unleashes all those plays he's been saving. The ones that make the Packers look silly, because if we can't count on the refs to protect us, we've got to protect ourselves. And you know how we do that. Score fast, score big. Put so much pressure on Green Bay from the first drive that They don't even have time to think about hitting Caleb late. That's the mindset we need tonight. No favors, not from the refs, not from the national media that always backs the Packers. Not from anyone. We've got to go out there and take what's ours. And just when you thought we were done, here comes something that could completely reshape this franchise's future. Nahshon Wright, remember that name. The cornerback nobody expected anything from, the guy who came out nowhere and ended up with 5 picks this season. Well, tonight he's playing for the biggest contract of his life. And depending on how it goes, it could cost the Bears millions or save us millions. Gary Davenport from Bleacher Report just named Wright one of the 8 free agents with the most on the line in these playoffs, and he's spot on. Wright's at a massive crossroads. On one hand, he's had a breakout year, 5 picks, forced fumbles, clutch plays, but on the other hand, he's also been burned on some big-time throws. He's been beat deep in key moments. So what happens tonight? I'll tell you exactly what happens. If Wright goes out there and locks down the Packers receivers, if he grabs another pick off Jordan Love, if he shuts down his side of the field, his market value is gonna skyrocket. We're talking about a deal worth way more than anyone thought 6 months ago. He could go from depth guy to full-time starter with a fat contract. But if the opposite happens, if Green Bay targets him all night, if Love and LaFleur pick on him and start hitting deep balls, if Watson or Doubs burn him, then his value plummets. And that's where it gets interesting for the Bears from a business standpoint. So I asked you, do you want Wright to have a great game tonight? Of course you do. We want to win. Winning is all that matters. But from a pure business angle, if Wright struggles and his value drops, it might be easier for Poles to bring him back on a cheaper deal next year. It's a weird, conflicting situation because look, I think Wright's been valuable this year. Those 5 picks didn't come out nowhere. The guy's got instincts, hands, a nose for the ball. But I also think he's gotten lucky at times. Right place, right time, bad throws from opposing QBs. So the question is, does that justify a big free agent contract? I'm telling you, if I'm Ryan Poles, I'm watching this game closer than anything else because this is the ultimate test. Playoffs are where the real players separate themselves, where the pretenders get exposed. And think about the context. We're going up against Jordan Love, one of the most talented QBs in the league. Receivers like Christian Watson, who's got crazy speed, Romeo Doubs, who's technical and reliable, Jaden Reed, who's explosive in the slot. These guys can make any corner look bad if they're not on point, so if Wright can hang with them, make plays in the playoffs, then yeah, he deserves that big payday. But if Green Bay lights him up, if we see Wright getting beat deep, giving up touchdowns in crunch time, then we've got to ask ourselves, do we really want to invest big money in him? Or should we use that cash to keep BYARD or Brisker? And here's the part no one's talking about. If Wright has a great game and his value shoots up, and the Bears decide not to match the offers he gets, who's playing his spot next year? Tyreek Stevenson, Jalen Johnson, are those guys ready to be full-time starters? I think Stevenson's got potential, he's got the tools, but he's been inconsistent. Flashes of brilliance, but also moments where he looks lost. Johnson's shown talent, but he needs more reps, more growth. So if we let Wright walk because he gets too expensive, we're betting big on those guys stepping up. That's a risky bet, but here's what's really on my mind. If Wright has a bad game tonight, gets exposed, and we bring him back cheap, do we even want a guy who got cooked on the biggest stage? Or should we look elsewhere, maybe the 2026 draft? Maybe free agency for someone we know can handle playoff pressure. So I ask you, do you trust Wright to be our starting corner next year? I think he's got the tools, the athleticism, the instincts, but I need to see more. I need to see how he responds tonight when everything is on the line, when he's going up against one of the best QBs in the league, when Soldier Field is rocking. Because that's what separates good players from great ones. The greats rise in the biggest moments, and you know what? Part of me wants Wright to go out there and have the game of his life. 2, 3 picks off Love, lock down his side of the field, make the Packers scared to throw his way. Because that means we're winning, and at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. We can worry about contracts and cap space later. First, we've got to win this damn game. Look, these 3 stories show you exactly where the Bears are right now at this critical moment in Frank High's history. We've got Kevin BYARD, a 33-year-old All-Pro who's been amazing but could cost us a fortune. We've got Adrian Hill and the refs who might not protect Caleb in the biggest game of his career. And we've got Nashan Wright playing for a massive contract tonight against the Packers. So I'm asking you straight up, are you down to pay BYARD after this season, or would you rather invest in Brisker and the younger guys? Do you think the Bears can overcome the ref situation and still win tonight? And do you want Wright to ball out even if it means he'll be more expensive to bring back? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this is a family. This Bears fanbase is different from any other in the NFL. We've suffered together since the Trubisky era. We celebrated together when we drafted Caleb. And we're gonna keep riding together no matter what happens tonight at Soldier Field. If you're with me, if you believe in this team, if you believe this is our year to finally beat the Packers in the playoffs, then I need you to do something for me right now. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I promise you tomorrow, after we win this game, we're gonna have even more explosive news about what went down, about Poles' decisions, about the future of this franchise. Turn on those notifications, because when the Bears win tonight, and they will all be right here with the most fired up, in-depth breakdown you'll find anywhere on YouTube. We're gonna break down every Caleb throw, every Eberflus decision, every moment that led to the win. This is more than a YouTube channel, Chicago. This is a community. This is a family of fans who bleed Navy and Orange since birth, and together, we're gonna watch this team go as far as we know they can go, as far as they deserve to go after decades of heartbreak. Bear down, Chicago. Bear down.